Now in this part, I'm going to talk about transformation features. So I go to File menu and add a new item here that's going to be a new part. So I click on OK. Now I'm going to show you how you can add different transformation features like moving, mirroring, scaling, or other things. So first of all, I want to create two different objects here. And you can see that any object that I create here is going to be transformed whenever I click on one of these features. So let's go to XY plane first and go to sketch mode. I'm going to add a rectangle to my shape like this. And let's make it a little more complex like this. I'm going to add a circle. And now I go and select quick trim tool, remove excess lines, and now exit my workbench. This is the first thing that I have here. I add some padding to my shape. 15 millimeters, 20 millimeters is okay for this, and now I have this. So if I want to have another part, that will be treated differently. But in this part, I'm going to create another sketch. So I go and select the X-plane, I guess, and select the sketching. Now I'm going to add a line to this and exit my workbench and add some padding. And you know that you have to select tick profile. So I click on tick. I assign the reference direction because I want it to be in the other direction. The thickness is going to be about 10 millimeters, I guess, and the width is going to be about 50 millimeters. So I click OK, and now you can see that I have two different objects, but both of them are in one part. So whenever I add transformation, it will apply to both of these. So the first thing that I want to apply is the translate feature. Now, to make sure that I'm going to apply this to only one feature, I click on this pad, and now you can see that this is selected. But let's see what happens. Whenever I go and insert this transformation feature, the translation tells me that you may have added some constraint to your shape. It may violate your constraint. Are you sure about this? I'm sure about this. I click on OK, and you can see that I have no choice of selecting the object that I'm going to move. So everything is going to move along the direction that I specify here. Now I have vector definitions here. It can be point to point, it can be coordinates, or it can be direction and distance. First, let's see the direction as distance. I'm going to select this direction, so I can select any of predefined directions here by right-clicking on this dialog box, or I can go and select this direction from one of the lines here, axes that are present here, or anywhere. So I'll select this direction. Now you can see that every object is going to move. So the distance is going to be about 50 millimeters. So I type in 50 and hit OK. And you can see that it has moved 50 millimeters in the direction that I specified. Now I double click on translate. You can see the original place of my shapes and now the preview of what is going to look like after moving. I can go and select another option, point to point. Now I can select the start point here. I click here and now I'm going to select this point here. Okay. Now I can select an end point. So I can select a point that is here, but I do not have any point. I go and select one of the points that is here. And I can see that everything is moving from this point to this point. So if I click OK, both of my objects have moved along the line that is assumed to be between these 2 points. So again, I double click on translate. Again, I see the original place of these. Now I have coordinates. Whenever I receive coordinates, I should assign the amount of movement. I can go 50 millimeters in X direction, about 40 millimeters in Y direction, and about minus 40 millimeters in Z direction. Now, this is the place that my shape is going to be there. And of course, I can go and select the axis system, that is the default axis system. I haven't created any new axis system here, so the default is the only option that I have here. So I click on OK, and this is the result of my movement. Translate is a feature that you use in, assembling items after you have created those parts. Now I'm going to assign another feature. So I go to Insert menu and go to Transformation Features, and now I assign Rotation. Now again, it asks me about my wheeling. I'm okay with that, and I can select an axis. Again, any axis that is predefined is okay, or I can select a line for my rotation. For example, this line is going to be selected for my rotation, and I assign about 45 degrees. Now you can see that whenever I hit OK, it has rotated 45 degrees. So I double click on rotate, and you can see that again I have other elements here. I want to select axis and two elements. First of all, I need an axis. This is the axis that is selected by default, so I have this. The first element that is going to be selected here is going to be, for example, this, and the second element is going to be, for example, this. And you can see that because these two elements have 90 degree of difference, they will rotate in 90 degree. So I double click on rotate again and see the other option, the 3-point. Now the first point is going to be, for example, this. The second point is going to be this. And the third point is going to be, for example, this. And now these 3 points will create a face that my shapes are going to be aligned to that face. So this rotation actually does not ask me about the angles of rotation. This tells me that you are creating a face and you're aligning your shape to that face. So I click on OK, and now I have this type of rotation added here. So in next part, I'm going to continue my discussion about transformation features.